Hello guys, my name is Khan and in today's video I will discuss a bit about how you can do a very simplistic cohort analysis with the help of VBA, and it's more about data computation. And while working with VBA, what are the things that you have to be careful? So I have already created a file in which I have the VBA code to, so I will quickly open the file first. So as it's already a macro enabled file, so actually what's happening is that I have some data here. We have a date variable which is here, and then we have different font types. They are about, if I create data filters, I will show that in this variable is a categorical variable and we have only two types, SP and TV. And then I have the font values. Again, it's a hypothetical data, have nothing to do with reality. So what I want to do is that, so suppose if user selects any date here, so suppose if users write down any date, so or related to that date, I want what are the total values. So these are the total values which are here, total values. So suppose, so currently if I run this code, so these are the values is showing total values of the fonts related to TV. And the other thing to note here is that in this sheet, the SP variable, so this category also further divided into further categories like 1, 2, and 5. So first the user will come to summary, there is TV, and then increment reference, which is 1. So there are kind of two ways you can filtering the data. So let's do it a bit manually, that what actually we're trying to achieve. So suppose if I come here, if I say that I only want to filter SP data, and within the SP I only want to see the category 1. Okay, so now you can see the data got filtered for SP1 only. And now if I select this font value, you can see the sum is here is about 122,136. And if I go to my summary information, you can see the same. I also have to select the filter the data based on the date too. So if I go to here, so I have selected the date 1902 2015. So I will go above and come to the date variable, and here I will come first unselect all, only 2015, and we are looking for April only, sorry, May only, if I'm not wrong, February. I will go back. In February, there is only one date, 19. So now if I select this font value to see, now you can see that they are about the font value for the given date for the given filter on SP1 is 131,751, and the same value it's appearing here as for SP. So but this computation is done with the help of VBA. So first I will remove the filters and then I will go to VBA side. My VBA code is get connected with this button. So whenever I select this button, these number got updated. So another thing, before going towards the VBA, I will, because this cell will be keeps on changing, and then these values will be keeps on updating. So before going toward VBA, I will just create a data validation so that we don't enter any other dates in this cell list. I will select. So these are the dates in our data. So I will connect B3 with that. B3 can only contain the dates from this list. Okay. And now if I go above, I can select any date which I want. So this date, generate, and the numbers got updated accordingly. So now let's go to the VBA side. I will go to VBA and then I will go towards Visual Basic. So I have created this sub which is I will go through very quickly because the first step is a bit something that we need to understand, and then I'm repeating the same concept again for all these 4 values. So first what I'm creating is a macro named as fund valuation, and then I'm trying to make my code efficient. I'm using this thing, and actually I'm here stating that that all the Excel calculations behind the screen, keep it automated. And now here what I'm doing is first I'm defining the variable. So in this code we will be using a bit multiple variables, and we have to be careful when we will be using these objects. So I, as an integer, I will be using in the loops, and then there is a variable that I'm creating is the fund counter. That in this I will be summing up the funds. You will get to know how I will do it a bit in later when I will be discussing loops. And then I will be creating this array for 1 to 4, and it will be able to capture 4 values, and these 4 values actually will be these values which you are seeing here. And then I will be saying to VBA to paste those values here. How I will do it, just wait a minute. So the first thing is that I am first going to calculate the fund value for the given date, whatever the date user will select here, for the given date and for TV reference 1. So in order to do that, what I'm doing, I'm saying set the fund counter value, the variable that I have created here, is equal to 0, and then I'm saying from I is equal to 2 to 317. So you will be thinking, why 2 to 3117? So if I go back to my data, this is my data which I will be using. So my data is actually starting from the row number 2. The first row number is the column headers, and if I go down, you can see that there are about 3117 rows. That's why my loop is running till 3117. Again, back to the code side. So, and now important thing is that in order to compute this number, so this summary information, so in order to compute this number, as you can, as I have already shown, that I filter the data based on this variable, the TV, and then I also filter the data based on the reference, and then I also filter the data based on the date selected. So in order to do that in VBA, I will be using the if condition. So I'm saying that this worksheet, and I specify the worksheet name. Then I specified the cells. So first time the loop will come to row number 2, and then it will check that this cell row 2, column 3. The column 3 is where it's stating it's TV or SP. If it's equal to TV, and then I'm creating another. But here important thing to note is that I have written down a code in just very long straight line. So I can, if you want to see, you don't want to create a long line, so easier way is that after and or wherever you like, I created a space, then underscore, and now this whole line will work as a one line, even though the code is appearing on the next line. In the same way, again after and I can space enter underscore, and again if I want I can do the same thing again in the third line. But now I will show you that the second and command is that I'm saying this worksheet, the worksheet name dot cell I4, and 4 means the column 4, and if I go to column 4, the column 4 is related to the column B, is related to that, is it 1 or 2, whatever the reference number is. And now I'm creating another condition that this work reference, and again notice that I is changing for each row. So this if condition will check each row one by one and see that is it a TV, and then is it 1, and if it's TV and it's 1 2, and then the third condition it will check that the column 8, which is here the date, is it that date of this sheet is equal to the date that the user has selected in summary information.range here. And then once if it will be done, if all the three conditions met, because I am using the AND conditions again and again, if all the conditions met, then it will come to this variable that I have created. So it will say first when it will come, it will be 0. So 0 plus the fund value, which, so now here important thing to note is that I am changing the cell. It's I5 means the column 5, which is the fund value, which is here. So look, 1 2 3 4 5, so the fund value. So it will capture the fund value in that cell if all the condition in that rows met, and then it will add that thing to here. So each time when the loop will run, this DBL fund counter value will keeps on updating given the condition, the if condition get passed. So once this loop will end, it will come here and it will assign the last value which will be captured in this variable fund counter to the first array. So the first array based on my condition is actually the aggregate or the sum of all the fund values based on condition day, based on increment type and reference. So here is the total value that you are seeing here. And in the same way, I'm repeating these steps again and again, but in each step, the array number I'm changing 2, 3, and then 4. But before going further, at the end of this video, an important thing to note here is that, so suppose if you accidentally misspell any variable, suppose if I write down here, will VBA will give me an error or not? Let's see. If I run the code, so you can see VBA haven't given me the error, but the important thing to note here is that here the fund value becomes 0. Why is it happening? Because when it's assigning the total fund, which is actually this is the right variable, which is the already defined variable. This variable is not defined, but VBA haven't given us the error. And if there is an object which is not defined, and if you use in the code, it's by default value is 0. So that's why we are actually, this 0 is wrong. We want the right value there. But in order to figure out this error, or in order to realize this error at the running stage, because otherwise it's very difficult that overall the fund value is 0 or we have made an error. So in order to configure, or in order to make sure that this error don't occur, there is a very you can say important function which you can use in the start of your code, or before when you're writing the macro. Please define the option which is option explicit, which makes sure that all the variables that you are using in the code are already defined. If there is anything other than the defined variable, the VBA code will give you an error. So I will say option, and it's just a very simple code, explicit. So now if I run the code, hopefully I will get an error that there is something wrong, or we maybe have used a wrong variable which is not already defined. So now let's say if I run it, so you can see run it. So you can see that I got an error, and the VBA already have highlighted this variable which is new. So what I will do, I will come and I will say, okay, there is U missing here. I have made a typo error, and now let's see. So again, this option is very useful. It will make sure that all the variables which you are using in the code are defined variable. So there is no other variable which is giving you which is there because of some typo error. So now let's see. Now if I run it again, it's still 0. Now if I will run it, you can see my fund value got updated. And in the end, once I have assigned each total fund value for each of these different categories, TV1, SP1, SP2, and SP5, first I assign all those sum values to this array. So once I am done, so now it's time to assign this array values to our Excel sheet. So what I'm doing is that I'm saying this workbook summary and go to row number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the column number remains same, and I'm saying for array part of array 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this way, what I have done is that I achieved a bit kind of a very simplistic cohort analysis. I subsetted the data, and then I'm looking about related to their total values. Again, just at the end, I will show you that if I change any date here, so it's 19, do it here, so my values got updated. So very simplistic way of showing that how you can do a bit cohort analysis, and then what are the things that you have to be careful, like we discussed option explicit, which allows you to make sure that your code is running properly and will allow you to use only those variables which you have defined. So if there is a typo error while writing the variable name, the code will give you an explicit error. Thank you for watching the video.